In a world where titanic forces battled for dominance, the skies crackled with energy, and Earth trembled beneath the weight of unspeakable clashes. The battle had reached its crescendo in a city now reduced to a war-torn landscape, scarred by the ferocity of its participants. In the heart of this chaos stood Superman, once a paragon of virtue, now consumed by madness, his morality in tatters. His eyes burned with an insatiable fury, his mind twisted by the severe compromises he had made. In front of him was the monstrous Doomsday, an embodiment of destruction that had been unleashed upon the world. Doomsday began to emit bone-like spikes from his grotesque form, launching them like projectiles towards Superman. With a speed only a Kryptonian could master, Superman evaded the onslaught, the spikes shattering against the concrete behind him. Each dodge was calculated, yet there was an intensity to Superman's movements, a hint of desperation that made it clear he was no longer fighting for justice but for sheer survival. The air split with a thunderous crash as a green behemoth soared through the sky and collided with Doomsday, knocking the creature sideways. The unexpected arrival was the Hulk, transformed into his 100% gamma-angered state, muscles bulging and rage roaring. Superman, fueled by a surge of solar power, activated his own 100% sun-dipped state, the blazing energy enveloping him like blazing armor. The ground below quaked as the two titans lurched towards each other, exchanging blows with unrestrained fury. Shockwaves radiated outward from their impacts, shattering windows and overturning cars. Superman's fists hammered into the Hulk's flesh, but the Green Giant responded with an ear-splitting roar, his fists meeting Superman's with the force of a freight train. The once enviable invincibility of Superman faltered against the Hulk's relentless power. Enough. Superman's voice thundered, his eyes glinting with laser-like heat. He unleashed a barrage of heat vision towards the Hulk, directing it to burn through layers of green skin. Yet, with each moment, the Hulk's wound closed, his healing factor undeterred. On the far side of the battlefield, monstrous chaos brewed as well. Doomsday and SCP-682, an indestructible reptilian entity infamous for its relentless killing, clashed violently. Doomsday lunged with his spikes, but SCP-682 countered with a bladed tail swiping forward, each combatant adapting rapidly, their assaults increasing in speed and ferocity. Concrete crumbled beneath their relentless power, the atmosphere thick with an aura of dreadful tension. Meanwhile, the ultimate test of strength continued as Goku, consumed by dark cosmic energy, raged against a fully serious Saitama, the One-Punch Man. Goku soared high, transforming through his Super Saiyan states, launching energy blasts that illuminated the night like fireworks. Saitama, armored in determination, retaliated with earth-shaking punches, creating shockwaves that disrupted the very fabric of reality as they clashed. All six titans fought like calamities incarnate. The battlefield echoed with roars, blasts, and the resounding weight of their fury, each blow pilgrimage igniting the world around them. But even as they fought, each combatant soon realized that brute force alone was not enough to tilt the scales in their favor. They began to adjust their strategies, shifting their assaults, delving deeper into their reservoirs of power. Then, as if called by the very heavens, the climaxes of the titanic clash reached an ultimate crescendo. Goku and Saitama collided with a force that sent shockwaves through the skies, Superman and Hulk's fists intertwined in a tempest of brutality, Doomsday and SCP-682, forces of nature, grappling with primal intensity. A blinding explosion erupted from their union, a wave of energy both beautiful and terrifying surged across the expanse, and then silence fell. Smoke cleared. All six powerful beings could be seen, panting, breathless from the endeavor that had drawn every last shred of their strength. Finally, at the peak of exhaustion, Hulk transformed back into Bruce Banner, his fury spent. As the last vestiges of power faded, the Titans collapsed, motionless upon the chaos-laden ground. At that moment, a surreal transformation began. A Christmas tree appeared out of nowhere, enormous and radiant, emitting soft, warm light. Snowflakes gently began to descend, wrapping the battlefield in an ethereal calmness, contrasting sharply with the violence that had just unfolded. The tree pulsed brighter, sending tendrils of light over the broken cityscape, as if breathing life into the ruins. An imposing container materialized, cradling the six fallen heroes and monsters within its gentle embrace, shielding them from further harm. The glow from the Christmas tree intensified, enveloping the city and igniting a miraculous regeneration. Buildings began reforming, streets cleared, and festive decorations sprung forth, ultimately transforming the atmosphere into a vibrant celebration of life itself. As laughter and light washed over the landscape, the city regained its vitality, taking on a futuristic visage adorned with the spirit of the holiday, complemented by cheerful Santa Claus statues. Within the container that held the mighty, peace reigned. The embodiment of their battles lay dormant, a tranquil slumber inside a cocoon of hope. In that magical moment, as Christmas lights twinkled against a backdrop of snow, it became evident that even in a world ravaged by fury, the chance for renewal and harmony could emerge from the ashes. The Titans rested, perhaps waiting for a tomorrow that would give them purpose once more, while around them, life began anew amidst the echoes of love and light. In the remnants of a city once vibrant and alive, a darkness had taken hold. With the absence of Superman, who had succumbed to the twisted whims of his own fractured morality, chaos reigned. He stood amidst the ruins, an embodiment of raw power now tainted by madness. His enemy, Doomsday, loomed like a shadow, a monstrous figure that thrived on destruction. With an earth-splitting roar, Superman took to the skies, only to be met with Doomsday's relentless assault. The creature has evolved to counter every strike, its body sprouting deadly spikes that shot out like artillery. Superman, with all his speed and agility, danced through the onslaught, a blur of red and blue against a backdrop of shifting destruction. But the madness in his eyes betrayed him, there was no longer restraint in his power. Suddenly, the ground trembled as a gargantuan figure collided with Doomsday, sending the creature hurtling sideways. Emerging from the dust and debris was none other than the Hulk, his skin shimmering with a green intensity as he entered his 100% gamma-angered state. A primal fury radiated from him, a force that felt both otherworldly and terrifying. Superman, sensing an ally in this chaotic landscape, activated his own 100% sun-dipped state. In that moment, the battlefield became a canvas of raw energy and might. The two titans surged towards each other, the punches echoed like thunder, sending shockwaves sprawling across the wreckage. Superman soared above, unleashing his heat vision, scorched beams of incandescence aimed at the Hulk's green flesh. But the Hulk's regenerative ability shrugged off the scorching rays. Instead, he countered with mighty fists, each strike capable of toppling skyscrapers. It was a fierce stalemate, two forces of nature locked in an unyielding embrace of power. Across this hellish expanse, the war was not just Superman versus Doomsday. A more sinister clash unfolded as the two monstrous behemoths continued the brutal engagement. SCP-682, an indestructible reptilian terror, had entered the fray, fresh from feasting on Godzilla and other titans. The two monsters clashed with a savage elegance. Doomsday's spikes tore through the air, while SCP-682's bladed tail lashed out like a serpentine strike force. As Superman and Hulk exchanged titanic blows, Goku, twisted by the consuming darkness of cosmic energy, fought against Saitama, the unassuming yet unfathomably powerful hero known for ending conflicts with a single punch. Goku transformed through his Super Saiyan states, sending ripples of energy that enveloped the battlefield with raw power. Saitama stood steadfast, his expression unbothered, landing devastating punches that shook the very foundation of the city. The battlefield became a whirlwind of chaos. Shockwaves erupted with each blow as Superman and Hulk danced through the debris, while Goku and Saitama threw punches that echoed like cannon fire. Doomsday and SCP-682 roared in a primal struggle, each failing to gain the upper hand, adapting with every ferocious encounter. Spikes clashed against claws, a brutal test of endurance and resilience. The city bore witness to this epic clash. Its buildings crumbled under the weight of power unleashed, the skies themselves turning into a swirling vortex of smoke and energy. With every struggle, it became clear that fatigue was creeping into their monumental grappling. A sense of desperation hung heavy in the air as the titans fought on, seemingly without end. In a desperate surge, the combatants intensified their assaults, their bodies glowing as they pushed past mortal limitations, fighting not just for survival, but for superiority. As they collectively raised their power levels, the world around them trembled in anticipation of the final collision. Without warning, a cataclysmic wave erupted as all six titans unleashed their energy in a conflation of raw, unbridled power. The resulting shockwaves rippled through the earth, sending debris flying into the atmosphere and painting the skies red and gold. Smoke enveloped the battlefield, shrouding the warriors in a haze of exhaustion and struggle. As the chaos settled, the smoke began to dissipate, revealing the six mighty beings sprawled on the ground, panting heavily, their bodies bruised and battered. Hulk reverted to Bruce Banner, the intense green glow fading, leaving behind a weakened man. All six powerhouses lay motionless, a rare tie in their titanic conflict. In an unexpected turn, a shimmering Christmas tree appeared from nowhere, its radiant light cutting through the haze of battle. Gentle snow began to fall, hovering delicately, as though nature itself sought to blanket the devastation in peace. As the tree glowed brighter, a transparent container emerged to envelop the six fallen titans, safeguarding them in a haven of rest. The city, once scarred and broken, stirred to life as the tree's light washed over it. Buildings began to heal and regenerate, transforming into a futuristic marvel adorned with Christmas celebrations. Throughout, Santa Claus statues infused an air of joy amidst the remnants of destruction. The light permeated the city, blending nostalgia with hopes of new beginnings. And while the six titans slumbered within their containment, the world outside began to heal, echoing a truth, that even amid chaos and destruction, the flicker of hope could breathe life into the most exquisite of worlds. In a world where morality had twisted into something grotesque, Superman hovered above the devastated landscape of Metropolis, his once noble heart now a cauldron of rage and insanity. Once a beacon of hope, he had succumbed to darkness, his code of ethics shattered like glass against the harsh reality of his own power. His eyes glowed a fierce red as he surveyed the destruction, ready to unleash that fury upon his greatest adversary, Doomsday. The monstrous brute had returned, its horrifying form pulsing with a primal energy. Charged and ready to retaliate, Superman dove toward Doomsday, fists charged with solar energy. Doomsday, in response, emerged with a flurry of spikes erupting from its body, attempting to pierce the already divided skies. Superman's reflexes kicked in, he dodged the lethal projectiles with a grace that belied his tremendous size. The air crackled as the spikes rained down, hitting the ground with violent force and creating craters beneath. But just as their titanic duel began in earnest, a crash echoed across the battlefield, jolting Superman from his fervor. Something enormous barreled into Doomsday, sending it sprawling. Emerging from the debris was none other than the Hulk, his skin glistening an unearthly green, power radiating off him like waves beating against an autumn shore. This was not just the Hulk, this was the fearsome Hulk at 100% gamma rage, a primal force willing to take on any challenger. Seeing a new titan in play, Superman matched the Hulk's intensity by activating his own 100% sun-dipped state. Golden rays enveloped him, transforming the skies above into a brilliant hue as the two forces sprang into action. They clashed, shockwaves erupting from their colliding bodies, each displaying overwhelming might and an unyielding will to dominate. The ground trembled beneath their feet, skyscrapers shaking in their foundations, windows shattering from the sheer energy of their conflict. While the titans grappled in a cosmic ballet of destruction, the air shifted. Emerging from the scarred earth was a giant reptilian creature, SCP-682, the indestructible monster that had consumed cosmic beings and kaiju alike. It had turned its attention to Doomsday, whose monstrous resilience was met with the pure cunning and ferocity of the SCP. Bladed tail and claws worked in tandem to counter the spikes and strength of Doomsday. The battlefield was a maelstrom of devastation. Meanwhile, somewhere on the horizon, Goku had succumbed to a dark cosmic energy that twisted him from the inside out. Dark Super Saiyan energy crackled around him, his demeanor eerily calm as he squared off against a fully serious Saitama, the One-Punch Man. Their fists met with catastrophic force, sending shockwaves that reverberated across the battlefield. Goku unleashed powerful energy blasts while Saitama advanced undeterred, striking back with the raw intensity of a force of nature. Everywhere, heroes and monsters engaged in fierce combat, generating an electromagnetic storm that lit the night with anxiety and awe. Superman and Hulk continued their relentless exchanges, one refusing to yield to the other, while Saitama and Goku danced in an equally furious contest of power. Meanwhile, Doomsday and SCP-682 clashed, jaws snapping and claws raking, each creature refusing to relent in their battle. As the battle escalated, each titan pushed themselves to the limit. Superman screamed toward the heavens, his heat vision carving through the air, but Hulk shrugged off the attack and countered with tremendous fists driven by primal rage. The ground beneath them erupted, and the sky darkened with the rising energy of their conflict. Dozens of strikes flew, their bodies moving so fast that they blurred into mere shadows of power. The collective might of these titans crashed against one another, creating massive shockwaves that altered the very fabric of reality for miles around. But as the last clash sounded, one final blow echoing through a shattered landscape, the chaos fell quiet. All 6 powerful brutes collapsed, the weight of their exhaustion finally overwhelming even the mightiest among them. As they lay lifeless on the ground, a strange luminescence brightened the devastated battlefield. A magnificent Christmas tree appeared out of the ether, adorned with shimmering lights and glowing bright enough to heal. Snowflakes began to gently drift from the sky, light and soft. The energy emitted from the tree cascaded across the land, and a transparent container formed, gently enveloping the 6 fallen titans, ensuring they remained safe and at peace during their recovery. The once ruined metropolis began to regenerate, rising up as a futuristic marvel, aglow with the spirit of celebration. Santa Claus statues and glowing decorations adorned the places that had once been battle sites. Buildings shimmered and reformed, captivating in their kindness against the grim backdrop of their earlier conflict. As bursts of light overtook the city, an unexplainable calm settled. The heroes and monsters might have fought to exhaustion, but now they could rest, protected under the watchful glow of the Christmas tree that seemed eons away from their conflicts. They would heal, and perhaps, one day, find the courage to confront the darkness within, together.